Hey everyone, it's Nathas, and today I'm going to be opening the third Kickstarter Starter Exclusive Edition Starter Kit from SolForge Fusion out of my case. So I've opened two others before this one, and now I'm going to be opening the third. Let's see if we could get anything that will be competitively viable or anything really cool that I want to be adding into my collection. This is a good opportunity for everyone just to kind of see how case distribution kind of will look by opening kind of all 12 in this series. Sometimes that kind of helps see like, hey, do I want to buy everything in specifically a sealed case, or do I want to kind of try to shoot for random boosters? And I know with SolForge, it's kind of completely randomly generated, but what I've noticed is distribution for omnis and things like that tend to be somewhat case specific. So if you can basically get to a point where you might pick like one kit from one set, one kit from another, and you happen to hit the Omni in both of them, that's a good way to potentially hit more than one. That being said, it's really completely up in the air of what you open. So yeah, so this is going to be the third in the series. So we'll get started right now. Alright, so first we have the Aloyan deck. So we're starting with an Aegis Knight. We have an Aegis Wings, an Aetherforge Oracle, a Bright Steel Sentinel, Force Field, Gauntlets of Solgrim, Metamind Overseer, Orlean Battle Droid, Palladium Hintermind, Stout Tinkerer, and we've got an Ironbeard here with Reinforce at level 2, Intimidate at level 3, and Knockback at level 4. So once again, this is an interesting deck. Aloyan in set 1 tends to be a little underpowered, but I do enjoy Tinkerer with the current meta, has a lot of minions. It's always cool to have like the Aegis Wings, Aegis Knight, just in terms of just like kind of the naming convention. So it's an interesting deck. It's something that I would potentially look at. Like it's hard because that's more of like that deck would potentially fit a pair with something else that you already have, um, but it's not necessarily a deck I would build around. All right, so getting into our Tempest here, we've got an Abetting Worm, an Asir Mech Mage, Disintegrate, Flame Shaper Savant, Fleet Stonefist, Lightning Brand, Stone Skin, Undeady, Uranti Heartseeker, Volcanic Warstoker, and we've got a Sunder with Ice Armor, Summon the Swarm, and Gathering Storm. So I always get really excited when I see Flame Shaper Savant in a deck that I open. That being said, this one doesn't really have a way to cheat too many extra spells out. So specifically, Lightning Brand with Savant is really nice because you potentially could get 3 level 1 cards in one play and do a bunch of damage with the Savant. But overall, there's not a ton of mages. This one can be aggressive if you kind of get a lot of advantage out of the Volcanic Warstoker or the Abetting Worm. So this one you could definitely push damage with. It's one that, depending on what the rest of the pool looks like, I would definitely consider it in sealed. But I kind of really wish I had Summon the Storm at 2 instead of 3 to take advantage of that Flame Shaper Savant. Alright, so now we're going to get into our Utera. We've got an alternate art Spellstorm here. So we're starting with a Combat Bartok, a Druid's Chant, Blowhive Siren, Grove Mother, Regenerating Bear, Shardplate Delver, Shifting Keeper, Shroudthorn Splicer, Swamp Moss Lurker, Toxic Spores, and we've got a Nova with Nova's Might at level 2, Nova's Wrath at level 3, and Nova's Dominion at level 4. So this one's definitely pretty solid. There's a good amount of life gain sources. We have the Swamp Moss Lurker, which hopefully will be free, and we've got a lot of ways to make either breakthrough creatures or kind of pump your board. So this one's definitely not a bad list. The strongest so far out of this set for sure. All right, let's go into our Necrom. And yeah, as we go further and further into this opening series, I think it's going to be pretty noticeable that the Necrom and Utera have a much higher floor and honestly a higher ceiling as well in terms of like the best of the best. But when you have a really, really good Tempest deck, you're going to see just those can be incredible. Like they potentially could outshine some of the Necrom and Utera lists. Aloyan, it's strong. Again, the loin tends to be a support color, so you're really kind of looking for almost anything but a loin, unfortunately. Now, that's my opinion. I know some people really like to kind of pair with a loin in set one, so we'll see. Hopefully, we get something strong in at least one of the colors. So we got Abyssal Apparition, a Combat Summoner, Dreadbolt, Gloom Reaper Hag, Howl of Zith, Om Nom Nom, Raging Banshee, Tormenting Stitcher, Venerable Patron, Zithian Dreadmaw, and we've got a Cersei with Soul Siphon, Life Drain, and Army Commander. So unfortunately, there's not really too much minion generation here. Like the Om Nom Nom a little bit, and the Combat Stitcher, or Summoner, I mean, specifically if you end up being able to play other spells. So the Stitcher could be strong, being tormenting and getting you back a reanimated creature, as long as you could kind of pair this with a minion heavy deck. So this was our third kit out of the series. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.